Hi everyone, welcome to CLLST. So I know this is the festival time where we don't want to study or where we are in that festive mood, but let's not forget that this is the only time where we can, work on our CLAT preparation. We can revise, we can, because we are not having also school ka pressure. There's a holiday from school also. So considering that this is the time where you can make a balance with respect to your CLAT preparation, festival will come next year also, but this CLAT time will not come next year. So, considering that, please start considering the timeline. Very few months, or we can say just 1 month left in our 30 days. If I say, if it, I take into consideration your one day ka Diwali and all. So, considering that, since you guys have a very few or limited times in your hand, this is the right time where you shall start working on your strategy, and you can say this is the last lap thing. So whatever we are going to do, whatever we will be doing, this is what will continue in our actual CLAT paper also. How much I am scoring in mocks, that is what I'll be scoring in actual CLAT also. Yes, there may be an addition of 5 or a subtraction of 5, but considering that we are not going to make a great change like अभी मैं 60s में कर रही हूँ तो CLAT में I'll be getting into hundreds. That is not possible unless and until you put effort. So if for next 30 days you are going to put lots of efforts, then you can from 60, 65 you can reach to the 100 thing. But how will you do so? That is also very important. So I have, when we interact with student, we also get to know that some of the students have not written the box, or some of the students says ki because of the other things also, maybe genuine concern also, maybe health reason is there, maybe school examination is there. So they have kept the mock with themselves, but they haven't studied or they haven't solved it. So if you're not solving it right now, when you are going to solve it? Because after 1st December, it's of no use. So considering that, please take out 2 hours on your daily basis to solve the remaining mock, which you haven't solved yet. And other than that, like if we for next 30 days devote our time daily to CLAT preparation, then only we'll be able to get into top NLUs. And our agenda is to get into top NLUs. Nothing less than that will work, or nothing less than that will satisfy you, right? So considering that, why you know I mean, why I am behind the league or why I am ahead in the league is something which we need to focus on. Why I'm behind the league is why I'm not focusing on my preparation, why I'm not revising what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, why I need to maintain the 100 wala. If I'm scoring around 100, so I need to maintain that 100 ka thing also plays a very important role. So whether I shall start revision thing where I shall go back and solve question, everything plays a very important role. And those who think that I am in the league, I am going to get NLS. So considering that, if you maintain then that consistency, then only you are going to get NLS. So considering that, you need to focus on various aspects, guys. For example, if I talk about English, if I talk about logical, if I talk about quant if you go back and revise all your previous mock from these three sections, you are actually practicing lots of questions. So still, if you guys are struggling, like the major concern of the students are that I'm struggling in logical, I'm struggling in GK. So if you go back and solve the previous mock which you have already taken, you are revising entire concepts of GK, you are revising the questions where you are struggling in logical. Same goes with respect to RC also. Similarly, if I take into consideration legal section, I can say, or sorry, it was quantitative technique. So you guys struggle in quantitative technique also. So if you are solving such questions from previous mocks, and by now 40 mocks everybody must have written who are very serious about the examination. So for 40 mocks solving and revising from each and every subject plays a very important role. It gives a lasting impact on your preparation. So considering that, please go back and revise. When I say legal and GK section, so if you take legal and GK section of last 40 mocks into consideration, GK must have covered everything whatever has been in news till now. Similarly, legal must have covered all the static aspect from torts, constitution, criminal, you can say contract, family law, or for that matter some contemporary legal developments, or you can say also the topics from IPR and all those things has been covered already in your mock. Similarly, whatever has been in news from current affairs perspective, what Supreme Court has decided, everything has been covered. So considering that your GK section and your legal section is not only making you understand the questions, type of questions which is being asked, how to apply your mind in that particular questions, how to use elimination rules and everything, but it also focuses on your current affair aspect, your revision perspective. So considering that this is the high time where every day you guys shall put effort, every day sit for 2 hours, solve all the sections. Let's say I'm, or for that matter, let's say I'm very much comfortable with legal, or I'm very much comfortable with logical section, so maybe, and I'm scoring really decent marks in logical legal sections throughout the mocks, and I'm struggling in RC, or I'm struggling in GK, or I'm struggling in quant. So maybe I'll be giving more focus on these sections rather than giving or spending the time on entire mocks. So considering that by now you all are very much familiar also with respect to the weaker section of yours, the stronger section of yours. So for next 10 days, work on your weaker section, make it a stronger section. For next 20 days, after that 10 days gets over, next 20 days, start revising. Just revise as much as you can. Wherever you feel like, yeah, I need to solve questions also, you can solve that questions also. But for now, last 20 days revision is something which will work. You will also have some new mocks coming in next 30 days. So considering that, take the new mock whenever it is scheduled. Also, it is advisable to solve the mocks within the given time period, that is 2 to 4 p.m में अगर आप solve करते हो, आप examination hall में भी सोओगे नहीं, आप बोर नहीं होगे. Second thing is, make sure when you are attempting the mock, you are attempting it like an actual paper, so that in actual CLAT also you don't get panicked like by looking in your room, looking at your peers solving the paper. Don't you, if you don't want to get into that zone that अरे इतने बच्चे लिख रहे हैं and everything, you, when you are writing the mocks, just think that you are the only one in the room, nothing else matters. Same thing you'll be applying in examination room, that you are the only one solving the paper. Whosoever is in our surrounding, I'm least bothered about, I'll be solving the paper. Secondly is, if you feel like, sometimes we do get that thing where we get anxious, or where we get that uh, you know what do you call, as a quick rush होता है ना कि अरे एक्चुअल क्लैट है, क्या कर रहे हैं हम, नहीं कर रहे हैं, क्या होगा. The moment you start panicking, take a pause, drink some water, compose yourself, and then start solving the paper. Because अगर आप पैनिक में सॉल्व करोगे ना, तो आप अपना पेपर रुइन करोगे. So considering that, ये small tips if you'll keep in mind ना, this will help you a lot. So also there was a question, I think, which every student keeps asking, that will you be getting extra time to fill the OMR? No, you will not be getting any extra time to fill the OMR. Within that 2 hours time period only, you can fill the OMR. Again, it depends on the student how you want to go about the same. For example, some student feels like, so let's say I've solved English, then I'll go and I'll fill the OMR. Then I'll solve legal, then I'll go and I'll fill the OMR. So some of you are comfortable this way. Some of you are like, once I'm done with the entire paper, then I'll go and fill the OMR. So those who are planning to fill it last, at least keep 15 minutes in your hand, so that there's enough time to fill the OMR and you are not in rush. Because the moment you'll mark a wrong circle, it's gone. Nothing can change that. So considering that, keep 15 minutes in your hand to fill the OMR very calmly. Also, when you are filling the OMR, let's say if I'm solving English, then I'm filling the OMR, and in English I'm not so sure of 4 questions, so I'll not fill that 4 questions. I'll circle that 4 questions on my question paper, and I'll move ahead. I'll not keep wasting my time on those 4 questions, that what shall be the right choice, ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, ये मुझे क्यों नहीं आ रहा है. I'll not be taking that on ego also. I'll just skip that question. I'll mark that question with pencil on my question paper, so that in like, and then we'll move to the other section in future. If time permits, then I'll come back to those 4 questions, and then I will solve it, and then accordingly will mark it. But if you're not sure, don't mark in the OMR, because once you have marked it, you can't make any correction. So these are few things which you can keep in mind. Yeah. And you may be saying ki, why I'm saying every session I'm saying this, because this is what we need at this particular moment. Few strategy, few things to keep ourselves calm and composed. And also, because this is the moment where we get anxious, this is the moment where we feel like hoga nahi hoga, nahi hoga to kya hoga, and CLAT nahi hai to kya hum baki options bhi check kar le. So see, if the first and foremost priority of ours shall be CLAT, then हमें CLAT चाहिए, हमें नेशनल लॉ स्कूल चाहिए. नहीं होगा, बैड लक है, तो हम और ऑप्शंस का सोचेंगे. बट पहला तो नेशनल लॉ स्कूल के लिए, इफ if we actually wants to have it, we'll have to put efforts. And if we'll have to put efforts, we'll have to think from all the perspective, not only from the question perspective and knowledge perspective, but also from the perspective that I shall not get anxious, I shall keep myself calm and composed, I shall reach the center on time, I shall, shall not panic after looking at the other people standing over there कि अरे इतने बच्चे क्लैट लिख रहे हैं, मेरा होगा नहीं होगा, ये सब 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 बात का है। पहले पेपर लिख के आएंगे, पेपर लिखने के बाद एलेट के लिए पढ़ेंगे, एलेट का पेपर लिख के आएंगे, स्लैट के लिए पढ़ेंगे, उसके बाद रिजल्ट का सोचेंगे। हो गया पेपर एक बार 1 दिसंबर को, इट्स डन, will focus on our A-Lit preparation. So keep few things in mind. I know it's very easy to say, but and you'll say ki ma'am, you're not in my position, so how you won't understand. So we have been in that position, we have written examination, so we understand that kya kya issues ho sakte hain. We also may have gone through certain cases, not in the actual CLAT paper, but maybe college के examination में कि blank, पूरा blank हो गया, कुछ नहीं आ रहा, blackout हो गया. So there we take a pause, and then there we used to take a pause, drink water, and then solve the paper. So we are telling you from your experiences that you can apply these few things, and then accordingly it will help. Also, in today's session, I'll be talking about two topics. Two topics I'm referring over here is certain bills and acts. As I always keep asking you guys, that you shall always read from the official website whenever we talk about certain bills and all. So, for example, if you go to PRS India's page, so there's a tab called Bills and Acts. From there also you can read. Also, you can refer to the government website for information, because government website is the ultimate source from where we get all the information. So considering that, always focus on the government website. Similarly, certain from GK perspective also, when we say about the policies and all, so we shall refer to government pages. Similarly, for legal news, you always guys can confuse कि कहाँ से पढ़ना है. तो newspaper से तो पढ़ा ही होगा. Newspaper is the ultimate source. There are few other pages also which gives a very good information. For example, you may refer to live and law bench, live and law page. You can also refer to bar and bench page. हम तो information देते ही हैं. Other than that, if you want to have more information, if you want to read things on your own, or if you want to feel like ये कहीं ये miss तो नहीं हो गया, so वहाँ से पढ़ सकते हो. Manthan is there. Manthan is for GK the entire, and for GK section तो I will never say that go and search for other pages. Newspaper primary source बना रखा है. After newspaper, if you have revised from Manthan 2.0, which is specifically based on CLAT, then you are good to go. You need not to look for sources, because the moment you'll start looking for different sources, बहुत सारा इन्फॉर्मेशन हो जाएगा, हमारे पास उतना टाइम नहीं होगा रिवाइज करने के लिए. सो हमें स्मार्टली अभी प्ले करना है, एंड नॉट अबाउट कलेक्टिंग द रिसोर्सेज एंड ऑल. अब जितना हमारे पास है, हम बस उसी में अपने आप को कन्फाइन करेंगे और वहीं से रिवाइज करेंगे. सो आई हैव पिक टू बिल विच इज देयर. वन इज ड्राफ्ट ब्रॉडकास्टिंग सर्विसेज बिल, and this is something like last year also they asked about freedom of speech and expression, and they just discussed it with the press bill. So considering that broadcasting services, and there has been questions with respect to Netflix and all regulations of OTT platform and all. So considering that draft broadcasting services regulation bill is also very important. So there are the highlights of the draft bill says multiple type of broadcasters and broadcast network operators will be regulated under the bill. The regulation will depend on their type. Television broadcasting network will have to register with the central government. The OTT platform must provide an intimation after meeting a certain threshold of the subscribers. So there was issue with respect to OTT platform, saying that whatever is being shown on OTT platform is not suitable as per the Indian standard, Indian custom cultures. And this, when I had taken earlier section also, where I had explained the syllabus with respect to so there are three aspects of syllabus. One says moral and philosophical aspect. So moral and philosophical aspect mein, when we were discussing earlier, I had told you that OTT platform ka issue was with respect to moral aspects only, that whatever is being shown on the OTT platform, people were criticizing, saying that it does not suit the Indian society. And some of people were like, we are paying for OTT platform, so we shall have a freedom of choice. And freedom of choice, freedom of speech, fundamental right has always been favorites of CLAT. So considering that, it can be linked from that perspective, that whether OTT platform can be regulated or not. So considering that, this is what the bill says. It also seeks to regulate broadcast of news and current affairs programs, excluding print news, which is your newspaper. Such program will have to comply with the prescribed program code and advertisement code, because media houses has also been under scanner from the government side, from the judiciary side also. Judiciary at multiple point have stated that you can't run a parallel judicial system. Similarly, you can't run a kangaroo court. So considering that, this is also important. So then the draft will also provide for a self-regulatory structure to ensure compliances with the program and advertisement codes. This includes self-regulation, constituting self-regulatory organizations, and establishing a broadcast advisory councils also. And then it is also saying about what each of them needs to do. So it is saying, just 1 second, because this logo is coming over there. So each broadcaster will have to also set up an internal content evaluation committee. All broadcast content must be certified by the content evaluation committee, then only it will go on the public platform. So considering that, this is the highlights of the draft bill. Then the bill is also highlighting key issues. What are the key issues and analysis of the bill? So it regulates online content available on OTT platform. However, such content may be accessed through other ways on the internet, which is regulated differently. No guidelines has been provided on formulating the program code. This may also lead to self-censorship by broadcasters. The central government will have the power to pass order on whether a particular content violates the program code or not. This will also apply to news or content critical of the government. This could lead to conflict of interest, because conflict of interest is always a matter of question. Also does not provide an appellate mechanism against order of the central government. So they always need to have an appellate mechanism. So this is the key issue with the bill. The proposed framework for regulating broadcast news is distinct from the framework for print news. This raised the question whether it is appropriate to have a differential framework for some content or same content based on the medium of dissemination of information. For example, if a let's say if in a newspaper certain information is being given, it is talking about the same thing, and same thing is being broadcasted online. So क्या उसमें difference हो सकता है, या can it be regulated differently? Let's say some online platform or news channel is talking about a Supreme Court's judgment, and same has been published in newspaper. So newspaper वाले अगर आप वैसे ही publish कर रहे हो, and broadcasters को you are giving, so you are regulating. So this is another key issue which is there under the scanner. Then it also reintroduces criminal punishment for certain offenses which were recently decriminalized. So, considering that, this draft broadcasting service, well, from the freedom of speech and expression perspective, from the third topic perspective of moral and philosophical aspect, and also from the very first topic about, the syllabus says contemporary legal development, then it is also says public policy. So, considering that this particular information is fitting in all the three categories, so we shall have a fair idea, so that if, let's say, if we get a passage, we know what the passage is talking about. So just after having a quick read, we can jump to the question. The second one, I wanted to talk about the Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Bill 2024, which is now an act. It has been passed in July. I mean, it's effective from July, and this was after the NEET incident and also. It was introduced in Lok Sabha on February, and it was passed also, but it came into effect from June, if I'm not wrong. And because of all the NEET and other UGC net also was under scanner. So considering that, this is now in news, and it seeks to prevent use of unfair means in public examination, and it refers to examination conducted by authorities specified under the schedule to the bill or notified by the central government. So this is also defining that what all falls under the category of public examination. So it says Union Public Service Commission, which is UPSC, Staff Selection Commission, SSC, Railway Recruitment Board, National Testing Agency, NEET, and the UGC Scanner Mehta, Institute of Banking Personal Selections, and Department of Central Government and their attached offices for recruitment. Because recruitment is something which is basically you are filtering out student to get into certain, let's say if I take into consideration NEET only, so medical colleges. Similarly, Union Public Service Examination, because of certain frauds and all, it is also under the scanner. So, Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Act is taking into consideration all form of unfair means which can be used in examination process, and it is saying that offenses in relation to public examination. So the act defines several offenses in related to public examination. It prohibits collusion or conspiracy to facilitate indulgence in any unfair means. It specifies under unfair means to include unauthorized access or leakage of question paper or answer key, assisting a candidate during a public examination, tampering with computer network or resources, tampering with document for shortlisting, or finalizing of merit list or rank, conducting fake examination, issuing fake admit cards or offer letters to cheat for monetary gain. अभी एक news सुना होगा तुम लोगों ने, a person was acting as a judge in Gujarat and was also working as an arbitrator. So that has also attracted the attention. And similarly, Bar Council has identified certain fake lawyers in Delhi also. So all these are like, how do you get that fake wala thing? You make a fake degree, or make a fake certificates and all. So somewhere I think everything shall be considered, or everything shall be checked. And then it also prohibit disclosing exam related confidential information before time, unauthorized public from entering exam centers to create disruption. Our offenses will be punished with imprisonment between 3 to 5 years and fine up to 10 lakh. So because this has been in news, and this was in news, and after that they had to conduct a fresh examination with respect to net, and need the Supreme Court said that it's okay. So considering that, at least we shall be knowing what is public unfair means, and whether what are the punishments and all. And considering that they may frame questions in legal also, they can frame questions in GK also. So this is all about today's session, guys. Since there is a festival time, I will not be taking extra time of yours. So this much for today. We'll be getting back in next session, and we'll be concluding everything from legal perspective in next 30 days, whenever legal section is scheduled for. So all the best, guys, and thank you, and wish you all a very happy Diwali. Thank you.